Welcome to this short report about the European Parliament, a parliament representing almost 500 million people from the 27 member states of the EU. The European Parliament is the only directly elected body of the EU with 785 members. It works with the Commission and Council to make laws. My name is Mairead McGuinness and I was elected to represent the constituency of Ireland East in 2004. You're welcome to the chamber of the European Parliament here in Brussels, where MEPs come to meet and debate and vote on the Union's legislation. We're going to take you on a tour of the building to show you some of the physical space we work in and explain what we do here and how we do it. This building I regard as the workshop of the European Parliament, where much of the nuts and bolts of committee work and political meetings take place. It's where the many different groups interested in or concerned about developments in the EU come to meet and lobby MEPs. The Parliament has another building in Strasbourg where all MEPs come together to vote through final pieces of legislation, but more about that in a later report. Let's begin now by taking a quick look at how the activities here in the Parliament are structured and what powers the Parliament actually has. You know, it can be difficult, even for parliamentarians, to get to grips with how the EU goes about making its laws. But one of the key things to remember is that it is the European Commission which is the only institution empowered to initiate legislation. So essentially, the Commission comes up with a proposal and this has to be agreed with the Council and the Parliament. European laws broadly fall into two categories, directives or regulations, and there is a distinct difference. A directive sets out the objectives of a piece of legislation, but it gives member states the freedom and flexibility to decide on how to reach those objectives. With regulations, on the other hand, the actual detail is spelt out in the legislation and implemented in a uniform way across all the 27 member states. Regulations apply, for example, in relation to rules around animal transport. When the Commission proposes a new law, it goes to the relevant parliamentary committee here for us to scrutinise. An MEP gets the job of drawing up a report on the proposal. And then this report is discussed and voted on by the committee, usually after several amendments are tabled by members. After this, the report goes to the full sitting of the Parliament, and sometimes it can take 3 attempts before the legislation is finally adopted. Sometimes, on the other hand, no agreement is reached. In the last 5 years, some of the key pieces of legislation which have been voted through by the Parliament include the Energy and Climate Change Package, the Services Directive, a major review of how chemicals are regulated called REACH, and reductions in mobile phone roaming charges. Committees also debate current global and EU issues and propose resolutions and debates. But MEPs also deal with local and national issues raised with us by our constituents. We help inform the Commission about problems and issues in our own member state, and we try to find solutions. So essentially, the Parliament is a large body of people elected by the citizens of 27 countries who work to reach agreement on sometimes very complex matters. For those of us who are members of this Parliament, our job is to scrutinise what comes before us, work with other MEPs from different member states and political groups, and come to an agreement on a way forward. And despite the size of the European Parliament and the complexity of the system, this place works and works well. It is a unique political entity which can't be compared with any other political structure in the world. But then the EU itself is unique, representing as it does the voluntary coming together of 27 countries who've decided that they can achieve much more united than they might by being alone.